At the end of this video, you'll be a cheetah expert, as we are going to fish out all the secrets of the East and South African cheetah subspecies. As we are going to dive right into their statistics, their secrets behind their speed, their behavioral adaptations, their plight, their conservation effort, and lastly, my idea of the most effective method of cheetah conservation. And if you are a cheetah fan like I am, buckle up, cause cheetahs are my all-time favorite animal, and a lot of passion was involved into making this video. So, let's begin. There's a particular demon in Africa that could accelerate from 0 to 60 meters per hour in just 3 seconds. A shapeshifter with a spine so flexible it can make hairpin turns at full speed. Now, envision our tear-stricken hunters whose hearts and lungs are proportionally twice the size of a lion's. An invisible ghost, like a mirage in a shimmering heat, confusing, disappearing, causing bewilderment until it does materialize. Welcome to the wild of a shadow that strikes apocalyptic figures, of a graceful cat with a certain look, a poise of a big cat built for speed, the South and the East African cheetah. Axinoix jabatus is their scientific name, by the way, is more than just the fastest child of Africa. It's nature's ultimate pursuit predator. Their gentle jaws extinguished life from the countless prey in the African wilderness, while their tear-stricken eyes spot prey from mile away. With their body built for the wind, these magnificent creatures embodies the very spirit of speed. Cheetah, spot so bright in the African plains day and night. What swift limbs or graceful frame could match the speed in nature's game? And what shoulders and what heart could twist the sinew of thy heart? And thy heart began to beat. What a dread pose and what a fleet feet! So, from the Kruger to the Masai Mara, from the bushveld of South Africa to the plains of Tanzania, the cheetah domain is as vast as it is varied. Yet, in these landscapes, it faces challenges that test its legendary adaptability, as their life is about sacrifice and balance between perfection and vulnerability. An icon of the African bush, a survivor, the most prolific hunter. And speaking of prolific hunters, let's hop into their vital statistics. In the heart of Africa, where the savanna meets the sky, roams a creature of unparalleled grace and speed, the South and East African cheetah. And what do the local Africans call it? Well, they call the legend the Duma in Swahili. A name that whispers of swiftness and stealth all across Africa. And what of their home address? Well, these spotted sprinters ruled vast swaths of the continent. Their historic range stretched from the sun-baked plains of South Africa to the rugged hills of Ethiopia, and from the windswept coast of Namibia to the lush forest of Kenya. Today, the kingdom has shrunk, but their spirit remains undiminished. And what of their subspecies? Well, the South and East African cheetah is but one jewel in a crown of subspecies. Its distant cousins, the Asiatic cheetah, in which I made a full video about it, so go have a look, and their closer cousins, the Northwest African cheetah and the Saharan cheetah. Each tell their own tales of adaptations and survival. Among them, a rare genetic whisper gives rise to the king cheetah, a creature of myth and beauty. Its coat adorned with stripes and swirls like living art, although early scientists thought it could be a separate cheetah subspecies. Recent evidence shows that they are just a mutated version of the South and East African cheetah, with a thicker, more luxurious coat, covering with the most beautiful, the most unique hybrid of stripes and spots a cat could ask for. But they are also distantly related to the puma as well. How? Well, in the grand tapestry of feline evolution, the cheetah finds kinship in unexpected places. The sturdy puma of the Americas and the secretive jaguarundi shares a distant ancestor with the cheetah, their lineages diverging across continents and millennia, and this classifies the cheetah, puma, and jaguarundi into one bubble known as the puma lineage. And now, what's the habitats of these graceful felines? Well, they range from the golden grasslands to the thorny scrublands, from the open woodlands to the arid semi-deserts. The cheetah has made its home in a mosaic of habitats. Each landscape presents its own challenges and opportunities, shaping the cheetah's hunting strategies and social behavior. And speaking of hunting strategies, the cheetah's menu is as diverse as its habitat. Mostly medium to small prey are preferred by lone female cheetahs, like the swift Thompson gazelles, the sturdy impala, and the nimble hares. Together with all the medium-sized savanna catfoot, they fall prey to its lightning chase. But in coalition, the cheetah's number and ambitions grow bigger. So do their prey. Male coalition usually leave their cheetah ways and hunt the larger antelopes like the hartebeest, wildebeest, and even an occasional zebra. And on lean times, even birds and smaller mammals may find themselves as victims in the crosshair of these gentle killers, if there are such things. And another survival necessity is love. In the golden grasslands of Africa, the cheetah engage in a delicate dance of courtship. Their spotted coats shimmering under the savanna sun, solitary by nature, these swift felines find each other through scent marks and vocalizations. Their calls echoing across the plains, and when a female cheetah enters estrus, their alluring scent, like a magnet in an iron box, draws males from far and wide. The chosen suitor pursues her in a passionate courtship, their lithe bodies intertwining in a brief but intense mating ritual, a dance of love that is both romantic and chaotic. And after this fleeting union, from a match made in heaven, the female carries the promise of new life for about 3 months. And in the secrecy of tall grasses, she gives birth to a litter of cubs, which can range from 2 to 8 tiny assassins. Their tiny spots a mirror of their own, ready to face the challenges of the wild African wilderness. And how does the cheetah communicate? Well, unlike their roaring cousins, cheetahs communicate in a softer tones. Their vocal repertoire, including chips that pierce the dawns, purr that rumbles like distant thunder, and high-pitched yelps that carries across the savanna. Each sound tells a story of territory, of family, of the eternal dance of life on the African plains. And in this grand theater of nature, the African cheetah plays a starring role, a symbol of speed, a testament to adaptation, and a living link to Africa's wild heart. This cheetah in full flight is the very picture of elegance, an animal doing what exactly it's supposed to do, flying without wings, defying gravity as they cut through the air, and this is due to how this cat is built. The cheetah's body is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering, a living testament to nature's pursuit of speed. From the nose to tail, every aspect of this magnificent creature is sculpted for the chase, a symphony of form and function that propels it to unrivaled velocities. Let's start with their beautiful art piece between their shoulders. The cheetah's head, streamlined and compact, houses perhaps the most vital speed-enhancing feature, enlarged nasal passage. This allows the cheetah to gulp down massive amount of air, feeding its oxygen-hungry muscles during the chase. And at the heart of the cheetah's speed lies its lithe aerodynamic frame. Lean muscles stretch over a lightweight skeleton, creating a body that cuts through the air like a golden arrow. Its spine, a marvel of flexibility, acts as a powerful spring, coiling and uncoiling with each stride to propel the cheetah forward with incredible force, which allows the cheetah to cover up to 22 feet in a single stride at top speed, transforming the animal into a living projectile. And speaking of living projectiles, the cheetah's body lies a skeletal secret. Their clavices are either reduced or absent, a unique feature among cats that allows for greater flexibility in the shoulder girdle, contributing to their incredible stride length during high-speed turns. And together with that, the cheetah's legs, long and slender, are precision instruments of velocity. Specialized muscles allows for rapid accelerations, while elongated bones extend the cheetah's stride to cover vast distances with each bound. And at full sprint, the cheetah's feet barely touch the ground, creating an illusion of flight as it races across the savanna. It's like as no one is expecting the wind to have teeth and claws, but to every fast thing on earth, there must be a well-oiled engine. And in the cheetah's case, their hearts. So, nature has blessed the cheetah with oversized lungs and heart, powering its incredible sprints with a surge of oxygen-rich blood. This cardiorespiratory system, proportionally twice the size of other big cats, including the lions, fuel the cheetah's muscles and sustain its breakneck pace, which is capable of soaring from 120 beats per minute to a nearly 250 during high-speed chase, pumping oxygen-rich blood to its training muscles. But there is an uncuttly trait that the cheetah harbors, which is their claws. Unlike those of other cats, their claws are only semi-retractable and more akin to a dog's rather than a cat's, serves as a dual purpose. Beyond providing traction for high-speed chases, they act as nature's own starting blocks, giving the cheetah's crucial grip for its explosive acceleration. These natural cleats provide a crucial traction, digging into the earth to launch the cheetah forward and anchor it during high-speed turns. And its paw pads, thick and shock-absorbing, cushions each lightning-fast speed. But this isn't the only weapon in the cheetah's arsenal of speed, as they have tails that plays a crucial role in its speed. Long and muscular, it acts as a rudder and a counterbalance, allowing the cheetahs to make sharp turns at full tilt without losing control. This natural stabilizer is the secret behind the cheetah's agility, enabling it to follow prey through twists and turns that will send other predators tumbling. So, from its flexible spine to its specialized paws, from its powerful heart to its stabilizing tail, and combined with a butterfly-like lightness that gives the cheetah an air of superiority. Every aspect of the cheetah's anatomy is a brushstroke in nature's masterpiece of speed. This synergy of adaptations transform the cheetah into a living bullet, a blur of spotted gold that embodies the very essence of velocity in the animal kingdom. So, let's start with the coalition dynamics. But did you know that female cheetahs, who are generally solitary but occasionally form temporary groups, especially siblings who have recently left their mother. These short-term associations might help young cheetahs transition to independent life, showcasing a form of fusion-fusion dynamics not typically associated with the species. While male cheetah coalition, typically formed by brothers, exhibit complex social behaviors. These groups stay together for life, hunting and patrolling their territory as a unit. This adaptation only increases their hunting success, but also significantly improves their life expectancy. However, it can create intense competition for females during mating season. And speaking of mating, let's go to the mating adaptations of the cheetah. So, in the vast adaptation of cheetah lovemaking, there are some genetic and behavioral factors that contribute to their cheetah reproductive success. So, as you know, female cheetahs are induced ovulators, meaning ovulation is stimulated by mating. This adaptation ensures that precious energy isn't wasted on unpaired ovulation cycles. Males can mate with multiple females, but females typically raise cubs alone, an energetically costly task that contributes to lower female survival rates. But female cheetahs have an unusual reproductive adaptation, meaning they can carry sperms from multiple males and potentially produce a litter with cubs from different fathers. This increases genetic diversity within a single litter, potentially improving the odds of cub survival to the already homogeneous species. And do cheetahs have reproductive synchrony? Well, in some areas, female cheetahs show a degree of reproductive synchrony, with neighboring females giving birth around the same time. This may be an adaptation to swamp predators with numerous cubs, which will increase their overall survival rates. And together with this reproductive synchrony, female cheetah also have polyesterous cycling. This means that they are capable of cycling throughout the year. This allows them to quickly re-enter estrus if a litter is lost, maximizing reproductive potential in unpredictable environments full of murderous baby deleters. And so that said, now let's move to the maternal adaptations of the cheetah. So, as you know, female cheetahs, like any other female animal, invest heavily in their cubs, typically caring for them for 12 to 18 months. During this time, they teach crucial hunting and survival skills. Interestingly, female cheetahs have developed a strategy of prey training, where they bring live small prey back to the cubs to practice hunting. This extended period of dependency is crucial for the cub's survival, but puts significant strain on the mother, as the mother cheetah engaged in active teaching behaviors beyond mere demonstration. They have been observed to adjust their hunting strategy when with the cubs, sometimes appearing intentionally prolonged hunts to give the cubs more opportunity to learn and experience the complexities of the hunt. And speaking of learning, cheetahs are found to have learned some cheetah culture, as recent studies suggest that cheetahs may have rudimentary forms of culture passed down through social learning. Different cheetah populations have been observed using slightly different hunting techniques or prey preferences, which appear to be learned rather than innate. This adaptability allows the cheetah to optimize their survival strategies for specific local conditions. And speaking of optimization, cheetahs also optimize the land to their advantage, as cheetah prefer open or lightly wooded savanna where they can utilize their speed, often preferring to hunt along habitat edges, such as the borders between grasslands and woodlands. This behavior allows them to approach prey under cover but chase in open areas where their speed is advantageous. However, they've also adapted to use elevated points like termite mounds or fallen trees as vantage points for spotting both prey and potential threat. This behavior showcases their ability to strategically use their environment. And speaking about their environment, cheetahs are also known to interact with other species, as cheetah have developed behaviors to coexist with larger predators. As they are often vigilant, scanning their surroundings even while eating, they tend to yield kills to larger predator rather than risking injury in confrontations. This adaptability allows them to survive in ecosystems with numerous apex predators because of their speed that leads them to have up to 50% hunting success rate, making this adaptation affordable if there is an abundance of prey, as this is an important strategy to avoid conflict. Together with that, there is this hunting during the day when the lions are less active. They have been observed to approach their prey from downwind to avoid alerting the bloodthirsty, psychopathic, savage spotted hyenas. These behaviors showcase the cheetah's ability to carve out a niche in highly competitive ecosystem. While generally considered diurnal, cheetahs often show activity peaks at dusk and dawn because this crepuscular tendency may also be an adaptation to balance thermoregulation needs with hunting opportunities. And for better survival, cheetahs adjust their behavior seasonally. During the dry season, when prey is more concentrated around water sources, cheetahs may increase their hunting frequency but decrease the distance they travel. Conversely, in the wet season, they range more widely to follow their dispersed victims. And speaking of cheetahs' ranges, they also use cognitive mapping, as cheetah appears to have impressive spatial memory and cognitive mapping abilities. They can remember the locations of water sources, prey hotspots, and potential danger zones across their vast savanna territories. This mental mapping helps them to navigate efficiently and make strategic decisions about where to hunt or to rest. And speaking of maps, cheetahs need large ranges for their landscape connectivity because cheetahs require large connected landscape to maintain genetic diversity and access sufficient prey. Their behavior reflects this need, with individuals, particularly males, often traveling vast distances. This highlights the importance of wildlife corridors in cheetah conservation. And this is because of the cheetah's landscape of fear, as cheetahs navigate a complex landscape of fear, constantly balancing the need to hunt with the need to avoid larger bullies. This influences their movement patterns, hunting times, and habitat use in subtle but significant ways, in which this isn't possible in air congested areas where the likelihood of the cheetahs to interact with their rivals is more common. Now, let's jump to the cheetah's intraspecific communications. So, beyond vocalizations and scent markings, cheetahs use subtle body language to communicate. Tail positions, ear movements, and facial expressions convey a wealth of information between individuals. This sophisticated communication system is particularly important in male coalition and between mothers and cubs. And speaking of coalitions, did you know that female cheetahs also do cooperative hunting in unrelated females? Although it is less common than male coalitions, there have been observations of unrelated adult female cheetahs forming temporary hunting partnerships. This behavior, though rare, suggests a level of social flexibility previously underappreciated in female cheetahs, as female cheetahs usually don't like each other even a single bit, but this might depend in their personality variations. As recent studies have begun to explore individual personality differences in cheetahs, some individuals consistently show more boldness, curiosity, or sociability than others. These personality traits can influence hunting success, cub survival, and adaptation to new environments. And speaking of environmental adaptations, the cheetah have thermoregulatory behaviors. As to cope with the heat of the African savanna, cheetahs have developed behavioral as well as psychological adaptations. They are often active during cooler parts of the day and seek shade during peak heat. They also pant to cool down after high-speed chases, showcasing the delicate energy balance they must maintain. And what about their play behavior? Well, play is a crucial for cheetahs' cubs, helping them to develop hunting skills and social bonds. Interestingly, play behavior doesn't entirely disappear in adulthood, as adult cheetahs, particularly those in coalition, may engage in play-like behavior that seems to reinforce social bonds and possibly serve as stress relief. And speaking about bonds, cheetahs appear to have long-term social memory, recognizing individuals they haven't encountered for extended periods. This may be particularly important for males in maintaining coalition relationship after a brief breakup, and for females in recognizing potential mates or threats. And lastly, is the cheetah's adaptation to human-modified landscapes. In some areas, cheetahs have begun adapting to agricultural landscapes. They have been observed using fences as hunting aids and crop fields for cover. While this showcases their adaptability, it also increases human-wildlife conflicts. So, these complex behavioral adaptations highlight the cheetah's remarkable ability to survive in challenging and changing environments. However, they also underscore the species' vulnerability to rapid environmental changes and the importance of comprehensive conservation strategies. Kitty Kitty on the wall. Who's the most persecuted cat of them all? Well, it's the cheetah. This cat is going to die. It could be in our lifetime or our kids or our grandkids. But cheetahs are the favorite cat for the Grim Reaper, as this cat is the most vulnerable when it comes from its removal in the kitty census. Cause a lot of factors is stuck against the cheetah, including internal and external factors, as there is no big cat so amazing and as vulnerable as this middle finger of a speed demon. 7,000 souls are remaining, and while other cheetah subspecies have a foot into the door of extinction, their persecution mainly comes from us, greedy, hairless, biped primates. And also lions, hyenas, leopards, wild dogs, and even themselves are to blame for not wanting to smash in captivity. So, let's talk about the factors that will make the East and South African cheetahs go extinct, as there is human factor to this issue, and interspecies competition, behavioral factors, and lastly, my conservation ideas of how to effectively preserve the species. So, humans, the Oscar winner of the most destructive animal in this world, and the cheetah is one of their victims. Because before colonization in Africa, humans and cheetahs were at best avoiding each other and at worst rubbing shoulders in surprise encounters. But colonization happened, and with it come to the so-called Western ideas of how to tame the land. Borders were drawn, fences were pulled up, and the gun arrived in Africa. The historic ranges of these nomadic cheetahs were disrupted. Their prey were driven out farther and farther into the abyss of death. And with the westernization brought the westernized greed. Ranchers were unaliving cheetahs out of the need to protect their flocks. Hunters and poachers were unaliving cheetahs for fun or for fashion, because with Western-led modernity brought Western-led demand of cheetah fur coats and the trophy hunting of cheetahs. And because of this, cheetahs cannot survive Western greed. And during the 3 centuries of colonization in Africa, the cheetah numbers declined dramatically. From 100,000 animals to 7,000 animals. Their ranges declined too, from thriving all over East and South Africa to surviving now in the congested national parks in their new modern ranges. And so that said, another factor is the need to tame the beast. This has cost a lot of lives in their sibling Asiatic and Sudani cheetahs, as the pharaohs of ancient Egypt tamed the Sudanian cheetah, to the ancient Arabs, Persians, and Indians taming the Asiatic cheetahs, and now because of globalization, there is a huge demand of southern East African cheetah in the exotic pet black market all over the world, from the West to the Gulf and Asia. But domestication is actually good if a species breed in captivity. I mean, look at how numerous cats and dogs are. But there is a problem with cheetahs in captivity. It's that they don't breed. Why? Because female cheetahs only breed and give birth in remote places without any traffic or interactions coming from humans and other species. And because of the trauma they face with their competitors in the wild, you cannot turn a female on when they are waking up with the roaring lions in a zoo and the constant interactions with zookeepers and observers. So, this behavior is what prevented the cheetah from having multiple domestic cheetah breeds. Imagine if cheetahs bred in captivity. I don't think people would adopt dogs and cats. And because of their docile behavior and their breathtaking beauty, this made this animal very attractive as a symbol status pet among the bourgeoisies around the world. So that said, another factor is competition. Cheetahs are getting bullied, left, right, and center, from their meals being stolen to the high carb mortality rate. As in the wild, only 5 to 30% of cheetah cubs survive their first year in the wild. This is due to many factors, but the major factors that lead this catastrophe is their neighboring lions and hyenas actively stalking the cheetah cubs and adults once they get a hint. And this is because they want to rid themselves with the competition. And cheetahs being the weakest among the apex savanna predators, this is taking a huge toll on their population. So, with all these factors, things are looking very doom and gloom for our protagonist. But there are some good news, as conservation efforts for the East and South African cheetah focus on addressing the major threats to their survival. This includes habitat protection and restoration, mitigate human-wildlife conflicts, and maintaining genetic diversity. Organizations work to establish protected areas and wildlife corridors. They also implement innovative solutions to reduce conflicts with farmers and manage breeding programs to promote genetic exchange. There is also research, monitoring, and community education, which plays crucial roles in these efforts. And international cooperation coordinates conservation activities across the cheetah range countries. The overall aim is to ensure the long-term survival of cheetahs in their native habitat through a multifaceted collaborative approach. And here is my take, my idea on how to effectively conserve the cheetah. As you know, the biggest factor that costs the lives of many cheetahs in the wild is infant mortality. In order to fix the population of the cheetahs, you have to fix this issue with infant mortality. So, my conservation idea is to capture pregnant females in the wild and put them in a large enclosure that mimics the wild, in order to maintain the states of wilderness in the cheetah's mind. And to do this, a big enclosure is needed, with some traditional cheetah prey in it, instead of directly feeding from humans, as human interaction with cheetahs should be very minimal. unless it is very necessary. And with this, the factor that still stagnating their population will actually disappear, because when females successfully raise 6 to 9 cubs per litter, in just 3 or 4 generations, the number of cheetahs will double from 7,000 to 14,000 and possibly even 500,000 if this program is done all over East and South Africa. Because historically, cheetahs were nomadic cats with very wide ranges, and because of their ranges, the likelihood of interacting with hyenas or lions was very minimal. And now, because of the congested national parks, the cheetahs are forced to coexist with larger competitors for space and resources. And this makes raising cubs to be very dangerous in those congested national parks. Thus, my idea of isolating the mother cheetah and cubs in a safe and secure spaces till the cubs reach adulthood and then to be released in the wild will work well in the preservation of the cheetahs, as competition with larger predators takes a huge toll in the survival of the species. So, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed and learned something from this exploration. Make sure to click all the buttons to prevent this channel from extinction. And as always, stay curious, stay wild, and thank you very much for watching.